Hey guys, what is going on? It is your boy. We are back with my vlog of Rachel Stop and Pop Atlanta. This was day three. If you guys missed day one and day two, it is up. And if you guys want to see the full vlog of the experience of me, of what we did, go to my website at Kennilo'sNinjaSon.com. You can find it there. Now, I just want to be honest with you guys and say, Ranger Stop, day three. I didn't get a lot of footage because if you guys know, I told y'all what happened to my camera. Well, with my phone, I tried to delete a lot of stuff off, so I can have it. And when I got home to upload most of the stuff, it took forever for it to get to my drive, so I couldn't get enough. I didn't get a lot of video this time. We got a lot of photos, but I didn't get a lot of video. So day three is a little skippy because of that fact. However, I did a tribute to Nikia, Karen, and Kat. Since Nikia and Karen sold Ranger Stop and Pop Atlanta, since they sold it, I did like a little tribute from the 3 years that I went. Took like the highlights from the 3 years that I was there. Me and the kid did a skit. I put the full skit in there because there was some things in there that I did not know that was there. When I did it, I thought it was just a regular skit, but there was some stuff that was in there that I didn't even know. So I did, and the reason why I'm not going to put it on YouTube is because it's a lot of copyrighted music in it. And the final part of the video has Brandy's Full Moon. Yeah, I love that song. I love that song. So it got a lot of copyrighted music in it. So I know it's not gonna, I won't be monetized. Let's just say that. So if you want to see the full version, uncut, full music, everything, go to my website. You'll see it there. So I just wanted to let y'all know that that's what happened. If you guys wondering why that, day three is not, I made it long. I think I actually got it to 20 minutes with, even footage from last year and the year before. I still got it to 20 minutes. However, some of y'all didn't even get to see some of the stuff that we did in 2023. So I did, I added there because our VIP dinner was hilarious. They did the dancing competition. Last year it was they did the dance contest, but it wasn't like it was 2023. This year they did do it too, but no, it was the battle of the DJs. Um, and if y'all wonder, I did mute that one because I put some music behind it because it wasn't really much to, it was the battle of the DJs wasn't bad, but I just preferred the music that I use. Let's just say that. Anyway, so day three comes. We go upstairs. We go in. Everybody's having a great time. And this is where I get a chance to talk to Kat because if y'all don't know, go back to day two. Y'all understand what happened. I go into extensive detail about what I heard and knew. So I did get a chance to see Kat. She and I we did talk. Without me being very vulgar, I expressed how I felt because I told her, I said, you guys, come to love us, come to, do what you ladies, what all of you guys do. Y'all come here for your fans because you love us, and for people to come and do this to y'all is not right. I did not like it. I stressed how pissed I was about it. She wanted to cry. I was trying not to because, I was just that angry. But, she hugged me. She said, Kenny, I'm safe. I appreciate it. She said, thank you for, caring. I was like, no, it's not just that, most of you guys don't know that I was robbed at gunpoint for little or nothing. I had no money on me. I had my bank card, but I had no money. They didn't even take my bank card. They took my bag. They thought I had a lot of stuff in my bag. So I understand, and I didn't disclose that, which I did disclose it, but I mean because it wasn't about me. It was, me letting her know how I felt for her safety. Not just her, but the vendors too. But like I said, I don't even know who the vendors were for me to at least, try to, defend them as much as I'm defending her. So, we hugged. We tried not to cry. We didn't cry, but we hugged. And, I told her I would see her later before I leave. I would, come and check on her. I see Nakia. I was telling her how much I loved her movie, Back to Bridgewood. That movie was so good. It was so funny. And I'm trying not to cry because this is the last one that she and Karen is going to be hosting as owners. And, she was like, no crying. I did a lot of that last night. I said, yeah, I know. I'm trying not to. So we end up having a good laugh. And, I told her, I'm going to try to see her before I leave, because I promised Aaron. I promised Aaron Cahill that I was going to see her before I left. Now, I forgot to tell y'all about Tracy Lynn Cruz. Now, if y'all don't know who Tracy Lynn Cruz is, she was the third Yellow Ranger that took Nakia's place when in Turbo. When Nakia left the show, Tracy ended up taking her spot as Ashley. Now, she is a doll. I love her. Y'all will see her in my pictures in the blog. Now, she basically we met her on that Saturday, and we end up talking. Me and Jason end up talking to her. Now I told her I ended up cooking Kat, Nakia, and Karen some, lunch due to what I saw they were eating the year before. I was like, no, I want them to try my cooking, and I got confirmation they loved it. Anyway, so when I showed Tracy what I cooked, she was like, no, you did not. And she looked at me, she put her hands on her hips and gave me a glare like, hey, you didn't bring me nothing? I said, I didn't know you was coming. I said, had I known you was coming and if I knew what you liked, I said, deal. You come back, you let me know. She has my email. Let me know when you're coming back in town. Let me know when let me know where you're going to be. If you're coming back here next year, let me know. I will make sure to fix you something. She said, okay, deal. Now, we standing around waiting for Erin. Now, Erin, she had photo ops plus other things, photo shoots, interviews. Now, this was the day they were doing lots of interviews. So I was like, okay, so because Erin promised, she looked at me, she said, Kenny, you're gonna come see me before you leave, aren't you? You're gonna come see me, right? I said, I am coming to see you. I said, I promise I'm not leaving Ranger Stop without coming to see you. She said, you promise? I said, I promise I will be there. Me and her, we talked the whole weekend. We were on the elevator together. We talked at the panel. We talked the whole weekend, and she is becoming a fast friend. I love her to death. So fast forward, she finally comes in. When she comes in, she was speaking to her fans, and everybody was like, "Hey!" When she saw me, her eyes lit up. She was like, "You!" I said, "I told you I was gonna be here. I'm not leaving without seeing you." So now I know you guys are gonna say, "Well, you didn't get anything with her." Yes, I did. If y'all saw day one of my vlog, we did a photo op with the Time Force team. She was in the photo, so I didn't have to get anything because I had already paid for the photo I already paid for a photo, so I was just there to, see her and, chat with her. So technically I already paid for it. So I didn't have to, I did want something, but, I was broke because we ended up taking a picture with Rory because I promised Rory a picture from day one, but Every time I would come in, I would get broke. Last year, I was so broke because me and the kid, we did a skit, and that money was well paid. That money went to good use. I'm just gonna say that money went to some good use. So I was just like, okay, so we get, so I get in line. So, her handler, he was like, I'm an orchestrator because, VIPs goes first. But it's not fair that, I come in line, not just me, but, any VIP and people who were standing up for like 15 to 20 minutes and then we go before them. I don't feel right doing that. Like he said, what I'm gonna do, he said, I'm gonna let these people go first since they were here, then you guys, if anybody else come up, y'all go before them. I said, that's fine. I said, I'm not here to jump anybody. And the lady that was standing next to me, she was smiling like, you are so sweet because I don't feel I look, I'm a VIP. I've talked to Aaron all weekend. If I wanted to, me and Aaron could have went and sat down somewhere and just had a great conversation. I didn't have to do that. I want them to experience what I experienced. And like I said, she has become a fast friend. And I really do like her. But I get up there, me and her, we hugging, we're talking, and I showed her some pictures of what I, fixed carrying the kid and cat. She got mad at me too. She said, "You didn't bring me." I said, "I didn't even know you was coming." I said, "If I would have known, I promised I would have fixed you something." I said, "If you come next year," I said, "Tracy already jumped on me." I said, "I will put you in. I will make sure you and Tracy get something next year." She said, "Oh," she said, "If I be here, it will be on my social media." So I wanted to trade emails with her, but she said she don't give out her personal. I do know why. Most of y'all are gonna say, "Oh, she didn't know." Most celebrities don't do that for the reason they get stalkers. I have to learn not to do that too. I'm not a celebrity, but however, I am I'm a public figure. I am out here on social media. You know, I do. People do. I have been looked up. People have been doing. I don't know, nefarious stuff. Somebody tried to blackmail me. So that's why I don't, that's why I get why they don't put their stuff out there. Give it to just, if she and I was, if I'd known her probably, if I would have seen her over the years, maybe like 5 or 6 years, maybe it would have been something different, but this was my first time. So like, like I told Nakia, I was like, when I first met you ladies, I invited y'all to my house real quick and I said I had to think about that. I said, I say you have to think about your safety and because you don't know who your house and stuff you're going to. And she said yeah, that is, and she said yeah, that is the reason why. I said I just nerded out in front of y'all, and I was just extending my hospitality, but I had to think about that. I was like, yeah, they can't just show up at your house like that. Now, if she know me like 4 or 5 years, maybe it'll be a little bit different. And maybe we hung out a little bit, it'd have been a little bit different. But, I only get to see them at certain cons. But like I said, if Jason Funt and Dan Southworth, they come back, we can go and hang out. We can go to a bar or something, sit down, and drink, or like I said, I don't drink like that. I know Jason doesn't, but Dan does. Dan does. So we'll just go and have like a sit down as friends and just chit chat, right? So after I saw Aaron, uh, I went outside and before now I did express to y'all in day three, no, day two of the vlog that there was something I had asked Erin. Now I asked Erin did she want to do the 360 because I had told her I was gonna do that. I wanted to do that with her on Saturday, and she said, "Oh my God, I wanted to do that too." She said it looked so fun. I said it was. I said I said I was looking for you because I wanted to do it, but I said when I saw you, you were busy, and then these other two guys was kind of like harassing you. And I was just like, and I said I was gonna step in if it had got kind of, they weren't harassing her badly. It was just more so like, she had something to do and they just wouldn't let her go. That was what, they were just like And I get it because I was like that with Nakia, and I felt bad, and I had to apologize to her date when I first met her in 2023. That I told her, I said I was just so excited. I don't want y'all to think bad of me. Because I am a big black guy. I don't want y'all to think bad of me. And the kid was like, she said, "Baby, you was fine." She was like, "You did nothing wrong." And I was like, because I felt so bad. I felt so bad. So I get where they were. I get how excited they were, but I also had to learn. You can't you can't hog their time, and that's basically what they were doing. But she also said, "I wasn't mean, was I?" I said, "No, you was perfect." I said I was gonna step in to try to get you out, but when you called Deborah over to and y'all kind of I said that was kind of good. So I said you kind of got a escape route. So, but I told her, I said, I wanted to do that with you so bad. Now, I did go ask Sasha Craig. Now, Sasha Craig was the Yellow Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue, but she had to go to the ladies' room. I was like, I'm so sorry. I did not mean. I said, go, go, go. Don't worry about me. Just go. Because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to do it with Nakia and Karen, but they were so busy, getting, the, trying to, get everything together. I mean, finalized, I guess, with the transitioning and talking to Brett, the new owner and stuff like that. So they was busy with that. So I didn't get a chance to do it with them. So I was just like, she said, if I come next year, you promise we'll do it? I said, that would be our first thing we do will be the 360. So she said, okay. No, 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 no. I told her, I said, I will wait for you. I said, if you get your table down, I will wait for you. But she said, I don't want you. She said, I don't want you to be here on account of me if I can't. I said, look, I don't care. If I gotta go, I will come and let you know. I said, but I will wait for you if you're gonna do it, if you can do it. So, she said, okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. So the cat, me and Cat, I asked Cat, I said, hey, are you busy? She said, no, what's going on? I said, I want to do the 360 with you. You want to do it with me? I said, I'm trying to get you last night, but under the circumstances, I understood why you couldn't do it. So she was like, yeah. She said, is it up there? I said, yeah, it's up there. You want to? I said, you want to go? She said, at first, she had told me to give her a little time because she was a little, she had to wash the table, right? So I was like, okay, okay. So I said, okay. So she said, you know what? No, let's go, let's go. So she and I, we ran up there. It's in the video. I did it twice. It's in the video. And so me and her, we had fun doing it. But when Aaron came over, I had to tell Aaron, I said, look, baby, I am so sorry. I want to do 360 with you, but my back is hurting so bad. My back and legs was hurting so bad, y'all. I had to leave. After Kat and I, we did the 360. I gave her a hug because she had to go because she had a couple of panels and photo ops to do. So I had to let her so she hugged me and I hugged her. I told her safe travels, get home, give the family, say hey to the family for me. She said, I will, thank you, love you. And so she left. I left. That was basically the end of day three. Day three was not, it's never usually eventful because it's the final day. It's the final day. Now, we was gonna stay there all day had they didn't have a buyer and this was been the final ranger stop. We was gonna stay there all day, but I said, well, since it's gonna continue, I'm gonna come. I'm going home. So I did get to see Karen and I hugged her and I said, are you gonna be here next year? She said, yeah. See, her and the kid had this little whole thing asking me, was you at the dinner? I was like, of course, I'm VIP. I said, girl, I was at the dinner. She said, yeah, we're going to be on the transitioning team. So this is our last year hosting. So we will be here next year. So I said, okay, perfect. That's all I want to know. So that was end of day three. I mean, the whole weekend was so much fun. I enjoyed myself. I love seeing my three ladies. I don't know if they're going to be staples at Ranger Stop. But I know, I don't know since I will let y'all know if they're gonna be staples. I should have asked Nikhil because I was, talking to her on. They did a members only chat, and I should have asked her then was her Cat and Karen still gonna be like staples, Like they will be there every year, but only when they want to come, since they've done it for 7 straight years and they deserve this vacation. So I should have asked her, but I'll probably ask her later. But you guys, let me know what y'all thought. If you guys saw the full blog on my YouTube, on my website, if y'all went to my website at KennyLowsNinjaSon.com, let me know in the comments what y'all think. Did y'all enjoy the music that I put into it? Because did y'all enjoy the dance contest? Tell me what part of the vlog did y'all see. Now I know my camera angles are shoddy, so do not come in my comment section talk about, oh, you're a bad cameraman. I had a phone. This is what I was using. That did Yeah. My hands are shaky. I can't help it. So sue me, guys. Sue me. If y'all want to be my cameraman and camerawoman next year, please. Applications at the website. Go get an application, sign it, and let me know if you can do the camera shots for me. But other than that, guys, I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see you guys later.